Hey guys, so I've been reorganizing my part of the garage, and I've always been meaning to make a charging station for both my drill and driver. And so I ended up with this little space over here that I'm probably going to use to do so. But I'm also going to make a storage space for both my nails and my sandpaper, just to have everything in one spot. So let's get to it. First, I started out with a rough drawing of what the storage station was going to look like. The overall size was going to be 2 feet by 2 feet. I began cutting my sides to a length at a measurement of 24 inches by 9.5 inches. I then began measuring for the drill slots. In my case, I wanted a total of 4 slots. I began by measuring each opening to be 2 inches wide and measured equal spacing in between each opening. After taking my measurements, I then began cutting the sides of the slots out on the table saw. It was a little tricky getting each slot lined up perfect, but it was the best way to get a straight and accurate cut. However, this is a cut that requires a bit more technique. When it came time to cut out the pieces, I took my base over to the scroll saw. I don't have a bandsaw or jigsaw, so the scroll saw was the best tool I had to make the cut. It was a little rough, but I made it work. Then, it was time to assemble my sides to my shelves. Also, I guess I'm a little too strong for my own good because the tip came off very easily, not because it was already opened. Normally, I would use my Type-On 2 glue. However, I ran out and had to use my more expensive Type-On 3 glue to assemble. Every side that I nailed on, I first applied glue to give the joint more strength. I then used 1.5 inch staples to join all my boards together. As you can see by the quality of plywood in this build, all this wood was scrap wood I had lying about my shop. Everything was assembling smoothly until I realized my last shelf was 1/4 inch too small. I guess in the process of choosing my scrap, I didn't measure properly. Anyways, I took a stick of 1/4 inch pine and used it to fill the space. I measured it and then cut it to size. Alright, now I got the charging station all constructed. I did have a little bit of a short board here, so I had to shim it with a little piece of scrap. So now I gotta determine how to get it on the wall. Now what I've taken is these offcuts here, and I'm probably gonna nail them to the back of these boards here on each level. and use this as a nailing strip to screw into the studs. So let's get to it. Now there are multiple ways I could have assembled this project. I could have used pocket holes, but instead I opted for staples as it was a more efficient way to get the job done, and I had more of those laying around than screws. Alright, now that I got this nailing strip on for each level, I think I'm going to add a divider in the middle to divide the sandpaper from the nails, and then it's time to get on the wall. I then took another piece of scrap and ripped it to an appropriate height. Then I cut it to length. The safer option would have been to do this on my miter saw, but it was faster just to do it on the table saw this one time. I then used a clamp to hold the divider in place as I nailed it in. Alright, now I got this divider in. Now it's time to throw it up on the wall. So this turned out pretty great for an afternoon project. I made some additional slots here in case I wanted to add more drills, or I also plan on getting the Dewalt router, cordless router at some point. So I want a spot for that where it can clear. Left an extra spot for maybe another charger, another Craftsman or some sort. And then also I have my staples all organized up here, as well as some sandpaper. Overall, this turned out great, and thank you for watching.